Hi, what's up people, Mr. Hare here. In this video, I'm continuing to go through my attempt on the 2020 O-Level A-Maths Paper 2. In my earlier videos, I've gone through questions 1 to 4 and now we're on question 5. Check out the other questions in this video series by clicking on the link above. Alright, so question 5a represent the solution set of this inequality on the number line. So obviously quadratic inequality, everything to one side. I will expand and simplify this. Okay, if you are doing A-Maths paper, I don't think I need to explain this to you. So you have 15 plus 30x on one side, 19x minus 2x squared on the other. Everything on one side, we get this 2x squared plus 11x plus 15 is greater or equal to 0. The next thing, I factorize this. But remember, do not treat a quadratic inequality like a quadratic equation. So what I do is, I'll just draw this diagram. It's a happy face graph because x squared is positive. And we have negative 5 over 2, negative 3. Negative 5 over 2, negative 3 is greater or equal to 0. Sorry. It should have been this side, isn't it? Why? This is the easiest question. Okay, so the answer is actually x is lesser than or equal to negative 3, or x is greater than or equal to negative 5 over 2. Yeah, just represent it on a number line. Part B, question 1. Clearly labeling each graph sketched on the same axis, the graphs of y equals to 3x and 1/3 and y equals to 1/3 x to the power of negative 3 for x is positive. Okay, so I drew the axis, and this one, I tell you, many students do not know how to do. Why? Because they see this x to the power of 1/3 graph, it's not familiar at all. Okay? But you have to know that the cube root graph, right, that's what x to the power of 1/3 is, isn't it? The cube root graph has the same shape as the square root graph. Okay? Now, this is the x squared graph. If you just rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, this will be in fact your square root graph, okay? So this is y equals to square root of x, y is equals to negative square root of x, okay? Or together, this is in fact y squared is equals to x. Makes sense, right? Because you bring the square over, you get the plus minus square root. And so it will be two different graphs. So with x cubed, it's the same logic. You have the x cubed graph that looks like this. So when you have the x to the power of 1/3 graph, the cube root graph, it in fact looks like this. This is y is equals to the cube root of x, or you can say that it is x to the power of 1/3. Okay, now the 3 here, it will not change the shape of the graph, the basic shape of the graph. So the graph of y equals to cube root of x and the y equals 3 times the cube of x, it doesn't look exactly the same, but the shape is the same. So if this is a sketch, then it's immaterial. It looks exactly the same, right? So the question is, how do you get from the green graph to the blue graph in each instance? Okay, let me explain to you, right? How do you get from green to blue is when you reflect it across the line y equals to x. Now this is a bit of advanced stuff that you probably will see if you do A-level math. But it's not really taught here. It's a reflection across the line y equals to x. Okay, so if I take the green graph, I flip it across the red dotted line, then I get a blue graph. That's how it works, okay? So if you don't understand anything I say, it's fine, just memorize the square root graph and the cube root graph. You see this part here, to the right of the x-axis, the top part here, looks the same. Now, at the same time, we have x to the power of negative 3 graph is actually the same as the x to the power of negative 2 graph. Okay, 1 over x cubed, 1 over x squared, the shape looks the same. Okay, it's not exactly the same, but the shape looks the same. So when you sketch, there's no difference. And so we have these two graphs over here. Part 2, show that the x-coordinate of the point of intersection of your graphs satisfy the equation x to the power of 10 equals to 1 over 729. Yeah, so basically we solve simultaneous between these two, isn't it? So equation 1, equation 2 equate and we get this. I bring the 3 across to the other side. Okay, it's a divide, so you get 1 over 9. X to the power of negative 3 cross multiply, you get x to the power of 1/3 plus 3 is equals to 1 over 9. So, which is, if you change it to improper fraction, you get 10 over 3. Basically, from here, we just cube both sides. Then you get x to the power of 10 is equals to 1 over 729. That's it. So, it doesn't feel so easy, but that's because we don't really see questions phrased this way. It's not one of those standard questions that you're familiar with. But even if you are reasonably prepared, you should know that intersection of graphs, like in this phrase here, talks about simultaneous equations, isn't it? So you start off with this, okay? Just give it a try and then see what comes out, okay? Yeah, then once you reach here, you know, okay, you cube both sides, you'll be able to get the answer. Alright, this question, it took me 4 minutes plus 2, 6 minutes. Okay, I didn't record over here. Okay, maybe it took me about 9 minutes for all these parts, okay, which is also a good time. So, as I said in the previous video, time is of essence. You want to get A1, you have to be able to do it fast, okay? Yeah, if you can only do it slowly, then I'm afraid, sorry. You are not yet at the A1 kind of ability yet. Alright, like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.